Oh, can anybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Just making
Yep,
sure
I
it's
can
working.
hear you. I can
All
hear
right.
you.
Hi, Sasha. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good.
Martin Gitlin.
Joined the meeting.
Hello.
Hi, Marty.
Okay. I'm still doing phone calls. I was out of town most of the day, and I have some questions and need a little bit of. I need to juggle two Chromebooks, and I'd like to avoid doing that. So anyway, it's a pleasure to hear the dulcet tones of all of your voices, even though this is being diminished by not being able to see your faces.
All right. Hi, Sean. Glad you could join us.
That's the way they have it set up. I don't know. Maybe they have it set up for the agenda to be on there. You'll get all the people around.
Oh, this is the way they come on there. All right. And they can see we're signed in.
Yeah, right there.
Great. What could I do? Nothing.
Looks like we're still waiting for Chris and Sarah and Frank.
Well, okie dokie then.
Would it be possible to exit the screen share until we need it for everybody to see the agenda, please? Thank
Sorry,
you.
what? I couldn't. You sounded echoey.
Oh,
She asked that they take it off.
not to be offensive, Marty, but it didn't pertain to you.
Everything pertains to me.
Hello, Frank.
Oh no. Okay.
Good evening.
Are you? Oh, there you are.
Hey, this is fun. I've never done this before.
Hi, this is Tim Morris with Turner Morris. I don't know if you can hear me. Am I joined you into your meeting?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Attend.
Do you want,
Yeah, I can hear you.
you want me in your meeting?
Yes, we do.
Okay, great.
Welcome.
To answer any
You
questions.
do?
Yeah.
Okay. Who just said yeah?
Trying to get the sign back and get it again. Yeah. Lost the screen somewhere.
Hey guys,
Chris.
Hello.
Good evening.
Well, looks like we got everybody now.
Hi, Sarah.
Kent Martin. Hi, Kent.
Hello. Hey. Okay, I guess we'll call the meeting to order at 7:05. Did a roll call. Sarah? Chris?
Yep.
Sasha? Kathy?
Yes, but I'm not seeing pictures of anybody but me. I don't know what I did wrong.
I'm not sure.
I can
Frank?
see for a while.
Here. I'm here.
Marty?
You betcha.
Did I miss anybody?
Frank?
Did Sarah respond? I didn't hear her.
She waved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We have
sorry.
Sarah. Oh, there she is.
And Tay, I could not sign on using my Chrome, so I will follow up with you another time.
Okay.
Cool.
And then we got Tay and Tammy and Rick. Rick, can you hear me?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, wait.
And
I forgot my microphone. Now you can hear me better, I'll bet.
yep.
Okay, good.
And then and I see Chuck and Ann
Yes.
and Tim Morris
Hello.
and Sean.
Hello.
And who? Sean? Hi, Sean.
Yeah.
Hi.
And Don Hayes.
Hello.
Hello. I think
And
I got
Kent-
everybody.
Kent Martin.
Yeah. Did I miss anybody? Okay. Is there anybody got anything to add to the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Okay. Do we have any public comment?
I have public comment.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
Hey, I live at 1050 Madison Street, and I've been participating in all of the recent town meetings. And I have to say that I'm extremely concerned with our lack of a appropriate procurement process. Over the last few meetings, there was no disclosure of conflict of interest given a matter that is going to cost the money quite a bit of town. And despite the conflict, that there is an existing conflict, there was a awful lot of communication from the board member who's in conflict. So as somebody, as a public resident here, we've been talking about the roof replacement, and the costs of that are pretty exorbitant. And I'm a little disappointed that we don't want to put it out to RFP because it's an emergency. And if that's the case, I want to know, I guess I want to know what exactly the emergency is, because in what I see is the roof needs to be dried in. And what I heard in the last several meetings is that the actual roof, if we went with the contractor that we were speaking of, wouldn't actually go on till September. So that seems to be conflicting information to me. I really don't care who we pick, but I think if I knocked on every door in the town and said that we're going to spend half of our bank account on a no bid contract. I want to know what the town board is going to say about that, because I have a problem with that personally as a resident here. And as an employee, I'm also aware that it puts us at jeopardy not to have some appropriate means of collecting these things. We do these things on a whim every time there's an emergency. And I want to know, like, what's going to happen when the state attorney comes in and we've spent half of the town's money and we had 2 bids. So to that end, I would like to see a procurement. I've sat here and listened to the board talk for hours about putting stickers on signs, yet we don't have a procurement process. So what I would like my town board to do is focus on the things that we need to actually make us a properly functioning government. Because that's what this body is. It's a government body where it's spending taxpayer dollars. This is the people's money here. It's not the board's money. And when issues come up, we don't have a procurement process in place. So I would like to see the board function in ways that would make our government behaving more appropriately in spending town funds. And I would specifically like to see the rules of conflict of interest enforced. At the beginning of every meeting, there should be an announcement that if there are any agenda items that a board member has conflict with, they need to establish their conflict of interest and not participate in discussion.
That's a procurement board. So that, like big companies have, that they get the bids and make the decision.
We've done it properly. I will ask that Sasha recuse herself from any discussion when it comes to the roof. Other than that, we haven't done anything inappropriately, because the size of our town, we're not required to advertise it for bids. We've asked several contractors to submit bids, and we've got two bids, which is what we're going to be discussing tonight. Everything else has been done appropriately.
My question is, even if it has been done appropriately by asking, going out.
Any more comment?
Yeah. My question is even though it's been done appropriately by going out and asking a few contractors, what is stopping us from?
I've lost sound. I can't hear anybody.
Well, to the rest of the board, what is stopping us from putting things out to a public bid? Why are we not doing that with such a large project? And I think I disagree with the advice of the attorney, because I've spoken to an attorney as well. I don't think the size of our town excludes that from this, and it puts us in a place of liability if other contractors are to find out about that and want to have had a chance to bid on this project.
Yeah, and
okay, I have something in relation to that. We've addressed this issue.
Yeah. Interjecting
about,
here.
Okay.
Yeah, first of all, Marty, before we respond, I want to make sure Sam is hearing this. Sam, are you?
Excellent, thank you.
Are you back on with us? Sam? Tay, this is an important conversation that Sam should be part of. And so I guess I just want to make sure that he's back engaged before we continue this conversation. And Marty, I think that goes for what you might be saying.
Sure. Oh, no, thank you for addressing that.
And thank you for being patient. And I'm just trying to, can somebody ping Sam to, just somebody have their cell phone that they can ping Sam and ask him to try and reconnect again or something?
Yeah, I'm giving him a call right now.
Okay.
Hi, this is Tim Morris. Could I make a comment?
Tim, this is it relative to the public comment or?
Exactly, yes, yes.
Can I interrupt? And what is your affiliation and association?
I'm sorry.
And what is your affiliation and your association with the town, please, before you interject?
Yeah, you bet. So I'm not an uninterested party. Of course, we're one of the contractors that submitted a price, but but if it's helpful, I'm sorry.
No, Tim, I think not at this point.
Okay.
I don't think we need your additional comment until the mayor is back engaged.
He's trying to get back on right now.
Okay, there is also interference. Is
Yes.
on speakerphone or very irritating.
I'm on a landline.
Yep.
You all know what that is, right?
You're in outer space, Marty.
Yeah, I think, Kay, that this is not something that we want to spend an inordinate amount of time on. We are not going to talk about my attorney says versus your attorney says. The town has a town attorney, and those are the people that we consult with to do town business. If you have other attorneys speaking with, then that's great. But you're not gonna back and forth with a.
Oops. Sorry. Hold on. Wait.
You put me on mute.
No, I was muting and unmuting everybody to see where the interference was coming from. So sorry, you said we're not going to back and forth with.
Yeah, this is not the opportunity for you to back and forth with the town about your attorney versus the town's attorney. And it's just something, the town has a well-established attorney. We will go with those recommendations. It's great to have another perspective, but we're not going to spend a lot of time having you tell us what your attorney says about what our attorney says. I think that's
correct. I'm curious why there is a differing information. Aside from that, I want to know why there. What I would like to see as a public resident is.
And you've got a couple of minutes to wrap it up, Tay.
Okay, thank you. As a public resident, I would like to see our procurement process improve, because we always seem to end up in these situations where it's got to be done really fast and quickly, and then there's all these issues, and it is a big money project for this town. Okay. And as a public resident, I want to know why we refuse to RFP it. What are we losing in not doing that?
Right, it's a good question, Tay, and Sam is the one who made this decision and can answer that question. I don't think we want to spend a lot more time on this because we have a board meeting ahead of us. Public comment is a restricted amount of time, and
that's
because
fine.
Technical difficulties and your persistence, it has taken more time than general. Sam, are you back with us, please?
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Sam, yeah, your connection's really.
Hello?
Sam, yep, we can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, you're very soft.
Okay.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Is somebody on a speakerphone? Because there's a duplication, there's an echo, and that often occurs when somebody's on a speakerphone. So if you're on a speakerphone, please get off a speakerphone. Sam, can you try again?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Just barely.
Two Sams here.
Sam, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I'm trying to figure out how to turn my microphone up. Okay, how's that?
That sounds good.
Okay. Sorry about the problems. I had to switch computers.
Okay, we're at the bills list. Did everyone receive it?
Probably should make sure there's not more public comment first.
Sorry.
Is there any more public comment?
Sam, did you hear what Tay was sharing with us?
I missed quite a bit of it. I was having computer problems.
She wants to know why the town is not pursuing public bids for an expensive project to repair the roof. She has a different legal interpretation of what the town is required to do, which I suggested that we're not in a position to argue what our attorney says versus what her attorney says. I want you to hear that she, as a town resident, does not agree with us proceeding without doing a public bid request process in view of the fact that we have backed off and considered this not as urgent as it was before. If I'm understanding you correctly, Tay.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so Sam, we can talk with Tay separately about her different legal impression, but we need to hear what she's saying as a town resident, and because it's something of concern. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure you heard that part of what she was representing.
Okay. And I don't know if you heard all of what I said. It was right in the middle of having computer problems, but we've talked with our town's attorneys, said that we've done everything properly. I'll leave it up to the board if you think we need to advertise for more bids or go with what we got. Our attorneys will back us up if we go with what we got, or we can put it out for bids, advertise for bids.
And the part that Sarah, if I just might add, was that whether it's done properly, I'm curious why we're deciding not to put it publicly out for bid. Yeah. So why are we refusing?
Good clarification.
I don't know. We got two good solid bids. When it first come up, we was doing it as an emergency so we could get the roof dried in. We got a tarp on it now, and it made it through this last rainstorm without any problems. So what's everybody else think? Do we need to back off and advertise for bids? Everybody that I've talked to so far, these are the only two that we've got. So
everybody I've talked to, they're so far back. I mean, I would like to push forward with what we've been working with.
I agree. I would like to push forward with what we have also.
Does anybody know what advertising for bid means? Just so I absolutely am clear as a resident, is that process clear to the entirety of the board?
Yes.
So that means publishing it in a newspaper or putting it on bid.net, which we have those resources. And so the board refuses to put a large project out for bid.
Tad, I think you're misrepresenting what it is. I
do too.
So if you want to rephrase what you mean, the board is not refusing anything. They're choosing to proceed with the bids that they received. And the circumstance of issuing the request for bids was one of urgency. It has changed. The board has determined, as I understand it, that they don't want to proceed with a more formal bid request process. Refusal is a very inappropriately used word. It's inflammatory. I don't know, other folks, do you, am I overstating what, please, others, and recognize that this is taking in, we've gotten a half hour into our board meeting to address public comment.
I think part of that was because of technical difficulty. So I apologize that it ran longer with that.
I agree with you, Sarah, in that the wording is a bit, and a request for proposal is just that. It's a request for proposal. And we have requested through the means that we've had to us for various bids. And so we have entertained several options and several individuals for a request for a bid.
Frank, Marty, Chris, what do you think?
I like the direction we're going in. It does have a sense of urgency that we do need to get this fixed. I mean, we've tend to let stuff fall off, and I think we're doing this in the right manner, and we're using local companies to a sense, and we have a number of bids in to go off of. I have no problem with the process we're doing at all.
Do I hear a motion to that effect?
This is public comment.
Okay, then let's put this aside till we get to the actual discussion, and then we'll decide.
Sounds good.
Is there any more public comment? Okay. I don't have the agenda right in front of me right now. What's next?
The bills.
Okay. Did everybody get the email with the bills?
No. Sam, if everybody else did, then it's no big deal. I think we've got loads of people to move on.
I couldn't find them either.
Just a minute, let me see if I can find them here.
I'm sorry, I had no time to follow up today.
I don't see that I got them either. Sarah, did you get them?
No, I didn't, Sam.
No, did anyone receive them?
I
Nope,
thought that
they're
I
not
saw
on
them,
my-
but I can't look right now with the screen share.
Do
I
you
do
want?
not have them.
I can read them off, or we can put them off till the next meeting.
Is there anything that's pressing?
I do need stamps, and I was hoping to get reimbursed for the chair. Mr. Jedley is waiting for payment for the boardwalk materials.
Does anybody object to Tammy just reading them off?
Could you
Yes.
email them out, Tammy, and could we look at them and approve them at the end of the meeting?
Yes, I will try to do that.
I move
Okay.
we move the bills to the end of the meeting.
Okay.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Great.
Aye.
Okay. Now I think we're to the roof discussion.
Tammy, would you please make sure the minutes reflect that Alessandria Register is recused from the conversation?
Yes.
Still there, Sam?
Yeah. So let's go back to the conversation we was having before. do we want to move forward or do we want to advertise for bids?
I would like to move forward.
I would like to move forward.
Do we have a motion?
I move that we move forward with the 2 bids that the town has received.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Sam, I haven't heard from Frank at all. Haven't heard from Marty at all.
They're
Are-
both
are they-
muted. Both Frank and Marty are muted.
Yeah, just wondering, I heard Chris say aye, and I didn't hear Frank, I didn't hear Marty, and,
Okay, I just got unmuted.
okay.
And I had made kind of the longer version of Chris's motion. That's why
Can we hear the
I
vote?
would never think you would disrespect me, Chris.
Frank,
Never,
look down in the lower left-hand corner, the little microphone.
Okay.
There
Can
you go.
anyone hear me?
Yep.
You bet.
Oh, good. Hey, look, this is my first 15 minutes on a laptop in my life. So bear with me, please. I think we've got 2. We that establishes competition. So I think we should proceed with the 2 bids that we have.
And if we could include in the motion, due to exigent, mention the fact that there were exigent circumstances.
Okay, so let's take the vote again. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Okay,
I
motion
think it
carried.
needs to also say that I'm recused on the vote as well.
You're abstaining.
Maybe we're not supposed to.
Okay,
Hey, Ann and Chuck, can you put yourselves on mute, please? Thanks.
okay, did everybody get Sean's revised proposal?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Somewhere over the rainbow. Yes, there it is. By gum.
Okay, Sean, you want to tell us a little bit about your proposal?
Well, on your request, I did an estimate for the painted rusted metal look corrugated roofing, and I also included 3/4 inch plywood if needed. I think that was all the basic changes.
I think those 2 are the ones who have the bids in on the roof.
Okay, the roofing material that he quoted is one that I sent him a link to. It's corrugated roofing, but not the kind that rusts itself. It's painted to look like a rusted roof. I think it would fit in with the historical aspect of the town.
I did also order samples of the color that you requested, which we should have by the end of the week, from what they told me.
Okay. Any comments?
So the number that's on here for the 3/4 inch plywood and the labor, is that worst comes to worst, it would be around $2,000 to do a full tear off and put new plywood on the building?
Correct.
Thank you.
I know that I've heard a few questions about what kind of warranty there would be on it. How would you stand behind it?
Usually it's a 1 year for the labor, and then whatever the material warranty is on the material.
Okay. Anybody have questions for Sean?
Sean, Sarah here. Just revisiting your timing on this. When would you be able to do it?
I could probably get in there by Wednesday to tear it off and dry it in. And then I think it's the lead time's about 3 weeks to get the material. And once we get the material, then we'll schedule to install it.
I guess. There's a meeting before us.
Yeah. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. Ann and Chuck.
Oh, you're welcome.
Ann and Chuck, could you mute yourselves, please? We can hear you talking. Ann, Chuck, could you please mute yourselves?
Thank you. Okay. Any questions? Any more questions for Sean?
I'm good. Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome.
Okay. Who did we have here from Turner Morris?
Tim Morris.
Hi, this is Tim Morris with Turner Morris Roofing.
Uh-huh. Tell us a little bit about your bid and your warranty.
Sure. Yeah, we're also, strengthening the structure with 3/4 inch CDX plywood. And then we're going to put down a really great, what's called ice and water shield or bituthane. And it's also designed for high temperature because metal gets really hot in the summertime. So you need to put a underlayment that can handle that. Our system we're putting down is called standing seam, which is the traditional metal roofing you see in Europe and all around the States for, hundreds of years. And that's where we fold the metal together so that all the fasteners that hold it on are actually underneath the metal. And then there's a clip that goes inside the seam and then seam is folded together. So so like a corrugated roof that is lapped, and the laps of course can leak. And then there's thousands of screw holes through it, which also can leak as well. So that's why I like the traditional standing seam. I personally won't put down corrugated because I don't trust it to not leak. I have done corrugated a few times when somebody just loved that look, like the old mining town look. And I understand it, it looks like an old rusty mining town. But when we do that, we actually put a roof underneath it and then we put it up on sleepers and we put the corrugated metal on simply as just for looks. We don't really expect it to really keep the ice and water out of the building. So that's what we've proposed. You can do all types of colors, and you can do the rusty color paint finish as well if you like that.
And what would be your timeline to be able to get to it?
We could get a crew in there next week and do the plywood and the dry-in, the bituthane. But to get in to do the standing seam would be the end of the summer. So it would be watertight, next week. But we would get the metal on at the end of the summer.
And what kind of warranty do you guys have?
It's a 2-year workmanship warranty. So it's against leaking as well as any defects. And then there's a 30-year paint finish warranty from the metal manufacturer.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any more questions for Tim?
I'm good. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Sean, I have another question for you. In your original bid, one of the options you give was for the standing seam.
Correct.
How much more is that than the corrugated?
Oh, let me pull it up on the. It's going to take me just a minute to pull it up.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I just want to make sure that we're comparing apples to apples.
Sound's the one?
Mhm.
The sound is still, okay.
Yeah, here's your two bidders.
Yeah.
And this guy's.
Got it right here. So you wanted the price on it?
Yeah.
It was $11,165. That was
Okay.
without the 3/4 plywood.
Okay. Real quick, can you figure out if we went with standing seam with the 3/4 inch plywood, what would the total be?
Um, 13. Actually, we would be about 15,000 also
Okay.
for everything.
Okay. Any more questions, comments from anybody?
I am good. Thank you, guys.
So I'm sorry, Sam and Sean, I'm thick. So Sean, if we went with you, including the 3/4 inch as part of the dry in and the standing seam, the total would be what?
It would be about the same as the corrugated. We're at 15, about $15,133. So it'd
Okay.
be right about the same.
Okie dokie, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right.
Okay, everybody knows what the bids are, and timeline and warranty. Comments?
You mentioned, this is Tim Morris, you mentioned apples for apples. And one of the things you might want to consider is, what the specification is. Ours is a double lock standing seam. That means each seam is folded over twice, as opposed to what we call a snap lock, where the are just pressed together, which is a big difference as far as labor and a big difference as far as performance. The other thing is we hem our metal on all the edges, as opposed to just having a raw piece of steel hanging out over the sky. So I don't know if we're bidding apples for apples, but I just want to make a couple points there about the specification.
Okay. And what was the total on your bid again? I don't have it right.
35,000.
Okay. Do I hear a motion as to which way we should go?
Sam, it's just so hard. It's such an extreme price differential. I'm finding it hard to see how the double fold seamed edges and the warranty add up to $20,000. If I'm understanding correctly, it just seems like an awful lot of money for those things, which admittedly I've only sewed clothes, I haven't done anything with a roof. So it's just, am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, if I could make a comment, this
Yeah.
is Tim Morris. It's a huge difference, and you guys are in a hard spot. I understand that. That's tough for you. And back to Tay's earlier comments, really, that's the hard thing. If you wrote a really detailed specification, this is exactly how the roof goes on, and these are the materials, and these are the procedures, and these are the details, then I think you would find the pricing much closer together.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part, but in the
Yeah,
position.
Yeah, no, and I do appreciate that. That's helpful clarification. And that was not where we were at the time when we put the bid out. So I appreciate that. So I don't have anything further.
How much is the insurance company going to cover for us?
About $10,000.
Okay, thank you, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
I have my hand up for a comment, if I may.
Go ahead.
This is Tay. In respect to screwed down roofing and what have you, I have been on contracts where we've done standing seam. I've been on contracts where we do screw down, just depending on what the clients want. I do think it was a little misleading that there would be thousands of holes that leak. The intent of somebody that's capable of putting one on correctly, it's not going to leak, or it would be covered by their warranty or what have you. So I don't think that's a non-viable option for saving us some money. I don't, and while the quality might be a little bit different, I don't think it's a difference in quality that presents itself as a huge liability. That's all I wanted to say. I think there's a very good products out there to use, and there's very good installation methods to use to ensure water tightness. That's the whole point. And I think that's still a very good option for the town too. That's all I wanted to say.
Myself, I think I would like to stay away from the corrugated roof. I don't know how everybody else feels about the town. I think if we're going to do this, I would like to make it the most longest lasting roof we have to do, and the last roof we have to do in a lot of our lifetimes. I would hope so. So that's my feeling on it. Either contractor we go with, I think we need to stay with the standing seam roof instead of the corrugated.
Both materials and both applications come with the same types of warranties depending on what you choose. So that was my point, is that they are comparable quality wise, and they would give you the same long lasting forever roof as long as you picked the right materials and the right application.
Anybody else?
This is Frank. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I still get concerns that we've got two bids. One bid is almost twice what the other is. We're talking about the same roof on the same building. It concerns me that this is such a discrepancy in price. And I really don't know which way I would vote if we voted on it now, because it's yeah. I just want to express that I'm kind of frustrated by the two bids. How can you have a good roof at one price and the other vendor says they're going to put a good roof for twice the price? For the benefit of the town, it's always best to go with a lower bid. So that's what's bouncing around in my head here. And I'm going to think about that. So why don't we proceed on how we're going to proceed, and we'll see what happens. Thank you.
All right, we don't seem to be getting anywhere. Let's break it up a little bit. First, let's decide which type of roof we want.
If we start changing the specs, it means that we're gonna get more bids, because we've told both contractors that we want a roof. They have submitted their bids. I would suggest that by changing what kind of roof we want, we're going to have to open this up to more competition. So we get a logical range of bids. So, that's my opinion. Go ahead.
In the bids that we already have, we have two types of roofs to choose from within the bids that we already have. That's what I'm saying. Let's decide, do we want the corrugated or do we want the standing seam?
Standing seam.
Standing seam.
Anybody else?
I'm sorry, the volume is so low here, I can't hear what you're saying. Could you repeat again what the question is, Sam?
We have on these two bids two different types of roofs. One's a corrugated roof and the other one is a standing seam roof.
And you're asking which roof type each of us prefers.
Right.
Okay, I prefer the corrugated roof. One, it seems like it's just as good a roof as the other one, and the corrugated roof fits into the historical aspect of the town. We've had corrugated roofs in this town since that process was invented, so it would fit into the character of the town better than the seamed roof, like, say, we have on the pavilion in the park.
Marty, what's your opinion?
I like the standing seam roof.
Kathy?
The standing seam seems to be what a lot of things are changing to, like Loveland Ski Area, perhaps. Is that what that is, Chris and you guys? Is Loveland? And that roof is holding up tremendously well. And so I have to agree with Chris and Marty with the seamed.
Okay, Sarah?
Sam, I don't feel strongly about this standing seam. I tend to, I hear what Tay and Sam are saying about, the corrugated option. And I don't feel strongly other than, just cost effectiveness for the town and something that's durable as well.
Okay. Tammy? Do you have an opinion?
Not really.
Okay. Well, it sounds like the consensus so far is for the standing seam.
Do we have any like historic building guidelines that we have to go by, or?
Yes, we do, and the standing seam does fall under it.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like among the board, we're pretty much agreed on the standing seam. I personally side with Frank, but we'll go with the majority. So I guess we'll go with the standing seam. So now, which bid do we take?
When it gets down to this, should we find out exactly what materials either one are using so maybe we can compare them a little bit better, and then can we find out, because as my liking, I would like to see the standing seam roof to have that rust color in it that they were mentioning before. It would kind of fit in with the building. I don't know what everybody else's feelings are on it. We need to maybe decide on a finish and see if both of the contractors can provide the finish that we want them to. And then maybe we do want to double look into what both materials are so we can have more of an understanding of why there's such a price difference between it. Because we've got material from the plywood all the way to the bituthane or the ice and water shield, whatever you want to call it, and the standing seam material itself.
Could I make maybe a helpful suggestion? Because I know that it is a hard decision. We could call the manufacturer and they could write a very precise specification that I think would answer all those unknowns questions, and then you could get pricing from the two contractors or more if you want on that very specific. And then you got apples for apples.
Sean, could you do the same for us?
I could. I don't know if Tim is saying that he does his seams are mechanically seamed. But I do not do that. I do the snap together, the click together seams. The perimeter, we do hem the perimeter though.
Okay. What do you say we table this to a special meeting Friday night, and by then hopefully we can have the specifications from both contractors, and we'll make the decision then.
I would agree.
That
Yeah, I do
good
too. I
to
work
me.
Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. How about a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 6 o'clock Friday?
Works for me.
Me too.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that give you both time to get that together for us?
Yes, we could do that.
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. Sorry about all the confusion and time. Everything. We're just trying to do what's best for the town.
I appreciate both of your guys' times. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Sure.
You.
Thanks for considering this seriously. It's an important decision. So thanks for your time. We'll see you.
All right. Have a good evening.
Can I, this is Tay, could I make a suggestion that before that Friday, I'm happy to help, and whoever else has construction background can help. We could kind of put together like a mini RFP for both of these guys so that they know exactly what they have to price out, and we could use the existing estimates that they have to kind of guide us through that. That way we're not just asking them to come again blind on Friday.
I think that's an excellent idea, Tay, if you're willing to do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be helpful, but
All right. Would you mind putting that together for us, Tay?
Yeah, I can.
When do you think you could have it done?
Well, I kind of made a sort of a simple version of it, but what I'll just kind of send out a couple of questions on some of the differing materials that are offered. So just so you guys can know what you want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, okay. I'll just I'll list out what should be there, and then there's like the things that are, you know, technically optional, and what the other options are, just so you guys know.
All right. Okay, let's move on. The next item is ordinance number 345, introduction and first reading, an emergency ordinance considering short-term rental of residential structures within the town of Silver Plume. Do we need to read the ordinance? Has everybody read through it?
I think for the record, we have to read it out loud though as well.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Rick, would you mind doing that since you're the author?
Wait, I would mind. It's quite lengthy, and I don't think we need to read it out loud. You need to set a public hearing.
Right.
And then take into account the public comments. And the public hearing, the notice of the public hearing will indicate that copies of the ordinance being considered are available for review at Town Hall, review and for copying. And I don't think you need to read the whole thing. It'll take the rest of your meeting to do that.
Okay.
I just didn't receive a copy of it, so that's why I thought that it was going to be read. My mistake.
Well, I thought I got a copy. I sent a copy out. I thought it to everybody. Did anybody else not get it?
It was a while ago, and I do have one concern with it.
Okay.
There is a 9-day maximum on 2B, short-term rental of primary residence for no more than 9 nights in a year. And that seems extremely short.
That's if you do it for that short a period of time, you don't have to get a license.
Oh, okay. Then I totally didn't understand all of this then either.
Well, it says the ordinance does not apply to the following.
Okay. Oh, okay. So is there a night limit then at all if you want a short-term lease if you get the license?
There's no limit. It's not short term unless it's less than 30 days, I think we say.
I saw there was so
29 or fewer, yeah.
in a month.
That's the definition of a short-term rental. Anything that's rented out for less than 30 days or 29 days, whatever it is, at a time. So if you have a short-term rental and you rent it out to people for a week at a time or a weekend or whatever, there's no limit on how many times you can rent it out in a year. If you're renting it for less than 30 days, anything over 30 days is considered a regular rental or long-term rental, and
a month-to-month lease.
Covered. Right. That's what I was looking for. Thank you, Sasha. Does that explain it?
Yeah, and then there was a $250 license application fee.
Yes.
And that's yearly?
Yes.
I think when we were renting in Frisco, it was like $75. Is $250 normal?
It's $350 in Georgetown, I'm told. Is that right, Sam?
I can't remember. It's either $250 or $350 in Georgetown. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I
you have to
believe-
get your business license as well.
And I believe I looked at Crested Butte's short-term rentals, and I believe theirs is even higher than that.
Yeah, but that's Crested Butte. That's Crusty Butte.
Did everyone else receive a copy of the ordinance?
I found mine, Tammy and Sam. I apologize.
You just
I had
sent you-
buried it in other emails.
All right. I'm glad I'm not
and
the only one
looking
who
at
does that.
looking at Georgetown's, it's 500 for the first permit, 250 for annual renewal. Their business license fee is $256, and the safety inspection, if you choose, it says if you choose safe built, which I've never had an Airbnb, so I'm not sure what that is. That's an additional $75. And then, so that total is $831 would be for your first time. And the Board of Selectmen appeal application and review is an additional $121 or $120. Sorry.
That's helpful.
That's exorbitant.
So we're not too terribly bad then with $250.
Yeah.
Right.
Georgetown's the new Vale. What can they say?
Oh, Lord.
I would say that we should probably schedule a public hearing, make sure that every board member gets this ordinance to their email tonight so we can all review it and then go from there.
With that comment on the new little computers we got, there's like the Google files and so on and so forth that's on there. Are we going to eventually be moving to that and getting off of these going to all our emails so we can just refer to the documents on the Chromebook?
That was the intention. That's kind of what Sam kind of directed me towards. So yes, so that the files would be easily accessible before meetings, and you can just click on them and bring them up.
So if we had a folder for the agendas and a folder for.
Yeah, and it's actually, if you look in there, I'm actually going to put it at the top layer. It's not in the top layer right now. It's under public documents. There's a folder called public meetings, and each of those dates has folders for all of those kinds of documents. So it should be easy to find in the future.
So with this one, could we figure out where it's going to be and then send it out with this email, but also tell us where it is on the Chromebook?
Yeah, so like I said, when we revise it.
No, but I mean in the email, have it actually.
A link to it. Yeah, that's
Find where it's at. Yeah, or a link. Yeah, either one. Okay, thanks.
Okay, is there any more comments or concerns about the ordinance? Do I hear a motion to accept the first reading?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Tammy, can you, for the next board meeting, advertise a public hearing? As I understand from Barbara, that's got to go out at least 10 days before the meeting.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I think also we need to, Tammy, how can we get that to people that are residents here in the winter and not residents in the summer? Like the Mons?
The public hearing notice.
Yeah. How can we get that to everybody? Because like the Mons live here in the winter and rent all summer, but they wouldn't be here for the public hearing unless we did it. I mean, we definitely could do it through Zoom.
Are we,
minute.
sorry, Tammy.
Who seconded the motion, first of all?
I did, Chris. No, Sasha did, sorry.
Frank moved, and then was it Sasha or Kathy?
Sasha.
Sasha seconded.
All right. I will publish it in the newspaper. I will try to send an email to the people that I know are doing Airbnb, but I don't have a complete list or know everyone that does. So
I'm sorry, Tammy, I keep cutting you off.
we have more than one public hearing for your next meeting. In fact, we have 3. So I will try my best to get it out to whomever I can. But I am not sure if I can pull that together before I get the water bills out.
Do we have,
We can
do
post
we
it on
have
our website.
email contacts for people that pay water bills?
For many of them, I do have email contacts, yes.
So we could at least get an email out to what we have and then go from there?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a suggestion. I don't know if you guys want to cover your bases for the Airbnb people, but we could also send a request through Airbnb, looking up all the Airbnbs that are here in Silver Plume.
We could give that a try. I've tried to contact Airbnb and can't get anybody to answer me back.
No, I mean, there should be a short list of rentals for Airbnb and a kind of a cut and paste to each vendor of an Airbnb unit here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, because I know the Mons are just purchasing another unit that they're not going to live in and they're going to rent. So I'm sure they'll want to be aware of this.
Our next meeting isn't until July. Can we send a notice out with the water bills?
Yes, we can send a copy of the ordinance if you'd like.
I don't know if we even need to send a copy of the ordinance, but just a notice of the public hearing, telling them if they want a copy of the ordinance, they can contact you, or
I can put a link on it, and then Tammy can include a link in the letter to the water bill if you want.
That would be best.
okay. Is that okay with you, Tammy?
That's fine.
Okay. All right. And as long as we're on this subject, Tammy just said we have 3 public hearings for that meeting.
Possibly.
What would you think of us having a meeting at the town park where we can all be there and still be able to social distance? I think these public hearings would be easier to handle that way.
I don't agree with that, Sam. I think it's premature, but that's just me.
This is Frank. I would like to add that this Zoom type meeting setup actually gives more exposure and chance for the public to participate than having an open air meeting in a park where they have to be physically present. I'm really encouraged by having the electronic venue for our meetings, because it does open it up to any person that wants to attend, and I think that's a good idea. So I would say that, and of course the health issue angles, we should stay with the electronic meetings. Thank you.
Okay. Any other strong feelings either way?
I would just like to also add, this is Sasha, that there are things that we need to keep in mind as far as once you start recording meetings. In my understanding, you have to continue recording them.
Mm-hmm.
So with ambient background noise and all the difficulties we're having just trying to be in our homes with recording the meeting, I think that we need to stick with this format until we're able to record from the town hall or similar location.
Okay. We'll stick with that then.
Tammy and Sam,
Yeah.
I suggest that you consult our ordinance number 310, which we adopted under our home rule powers, and establishes procedures for adoption of ordinances and related matters. It sets out the procedure.
Okay.
And call me or email me if you have questions about it.
Thank you, Rick.
All right, Tammy, when you get that ordinance, can you email it to me?
Yes.
All right. Okay, we ready to move on? Next thing on the agenda is Kent Martin, 540 Water Street, proposed residential commercial development application.
Hello.
Hello.
Am I coming in? I'm
Yep.
on my doing this through my phone. Excellent.
Yep, we can hear you.
All right. Should I share my screen, or does everyone? I don't know if you need to review the my permit package.
I think it was emailed out to everybody. Did everybody get it?
I have a comment here.
Okay.
Under our land use code, this requires a special review, which means that it has to start out at the Planning and Zoning Commission. It's before this board tonight, so you have an opportunity to determine if you think it's a complete application and whether you want to ask for any money to hire outside consultants to review it. Those are provisions that are provided for in the land use code. But you won't be considering the substance of this, the merits of this, until after the Planning and Zoning Commission has processed it and made a recommendation to the Board of Trustees. And it is a special review because it includes multifamily housing for more than 2 families.
Okay. So where do we need to go from here, Rick? I'm sorry,
Well,
I'm lost.
Are you comfortable that the application is complete?
I am confused. I thought Kent gave us a presentation on this a couple meetings ago, and we saw the plan, and I think it was the application, but I'm not sure. Am I remembering incorrectly? And
Yes, you are. That was a pre-application meeting.
a pre-application. I don't think I've seen the application then for this. I hate to be a pain in the ass, but I haven't seen an application.
I sent it on the 16th, last Tuesday.
Last Tuesday. Okay, I'm looking, Tammy. Sorry. I'm sure I just.
We handed off a hard copy as well.
I have
I
hard
don't know.
town hall.
The town hall.
Sorry, did other people receive it? I'm sorry, it's probably just me.
No, I don't remember it at all. But you know my memory.
It had several attachments with all of his plans, very nicely edited with the suggestions from the last meeting. And I do have large copies at the town hall if you'd like to come in and look at them.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah,
That's a good
Tammy, I don't have them, but so I don't want to slow us up at all. I just don't have them in my email.
Sarah, if it helps, I think I have one back on June 4th, but that might not be it.
I did send them out twice.
I have Sarah's, right? The one with the garage, that's all Sarah's building?
Yeah. Yeah, but you guys, if it's just me, don't,
Did anyone else receive them?
I did.
What I have is for the zoning meeting, the previous zoning meeting. That was the only email that I got on that day.
yeah, it's an agenda on that day, right? Yeah.
No minutes.
I just can't find it.
Yeah,
I'm in the same boat. I can't find it either.
I can't find it either. I'm going through my emails from the 4th on.
For, aside from deciding whether you think it's complete, which sounds like it'll be hard to do since no one seems to have seen it.
I'm going to email it to everybody.
The other things you could be deciding at this point are whether you want to send it out for consultant review, and whether you want to refer it to other agencies for review. I have no suggestions for any of that, but it is an option open to the board
Rick,
under the land use code.
What agencies would we want potentially to send it to?
Any county, state, or federal agencies having an interest in or authority over all or part of the proposed development. I don't know what those would be in a case like this.
Okay.
Have you reviewed the application yourself, Rick?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's complete.
That was my next question, is if you thought it would be complete or not.
Kent, it's unclear to me how the building is clad, for one thing, what the exterior material is.
Sure. Yeah, we following the town guidelines for the historical guidelines. We have that front facade facing down the valley at the intersection of Water and what used to be Water Street and Garfield would be a wood cladded front facade, basically modeled after the KP, the big town hall, a lot of the Western, those Victorian facades on the main street right now. The other three sides would be a galvanized sheet metal.
And the south side, or actually the north side, is probably the one that most people will see. It's the longer side, and it faces Water Street. So you're looking at a
Sure.
vertically seamed metal cladding, right?
Above the porch, we had to work the best to use the site the most efficiently. We oriented it facing down valley to the east, and with that broad side that faces Water Street, what we would do would be the lower half below the covered porch. We could do that in a wood cladding as well, or a horizontal cladding. So the very, the pedestrian, the people, the most visible site would be a wood siding on the lower half.
Is there any chance that you could include in your site drawing the location of the new sound wall? I'm a bit concerned that the false front looking east is going to be hidden by that sound wall. And it's going to look like this is a building that got turned 90 degrees from what it should have been.
Right. I could throw I do have the CDOT plan. I could get it pretty close to kind of show you that the sound wall ends and our building would begin. So it would not be obstructed.
Okay.
And part of that is that we're going to tuck it right into that corner, not right on the corner of the lot line, but it's going to come as close to Water Street and the on-ramp as we can get it, basically. That's been a big consideration, the sound wall, because in order for to attract a restaurant or some kind of a commercial space, a commercial tenant, is visibility, and it's been first and forefront on what we've been trying to get with that orientation.
Okay. Well, if the board doesn't want to send it out for any particular reviews, then I think it's ready to go to the planning board for their initial consideration and recommendation to the town board.
I have a question. Has there been any kind of a study on drainage and ground stability there? I know that's kind of a marshy area. Have you taken that into consideration?
Yes, we did a soil survey where they dug 2 pits on the site, and we used those recommendations from that soil survey to design the foundation.
Okay. Now, I've lived on that lot when there was a tower there, and one of the buildings would literally flood every spring. And I know CDOT is doing some mitigation work, but that has been historically a really significantly it's one of the gold seal fishing areas in the state, gold star fishing areas in the state in the spring.
Yeah.
Just heads up.
Yeah, we visit. Yeah, there's some water there on that towards those aspens on the CDOT side, and that'll be mitigated. And obviously the residents, it'll be a building there's no basement. It'll be a slab, and the residences will all be upstairs.
Just kind of heads up.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Just part of the experience.
And Water Street is a no-wake zone, by the way.
Why do they call it Water Street?
Yeah, that's another thing to think about. I like that.
Thank you, Davey. I got the application.
I just emailed it to everybody again.
Neat, thank you.
Yes, it looks very complete to me.
I would say I would move that we go ahead and approve this to go to the Zoning and Planning Committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'm sorry, who seconded?
I did, Marty.
Martin, thank you.
Thank you again, Kent. It looks really good.
Oh, thank you. We would have got it to you sooner, but we've been thinking about it a lot. So there's a lot of consideration put into it.
That's great.
Have you had any interest from a business to put a restaurant in, or?
No, we'll try to get that ball rolling once we get approval and kind of break ground. That'll be our big push to hopefully get obviously there's restaurant potential, and then even a shared space, whether there's a restaurant that shares the space with a rental shop, or like an equipment shop, or we're completely open to any kind of commercial activity.
Okay.
Within reason, of course.
Well spoken.
All right.
When would the zoning board be meeting? Is that something I'd have to be present for, or you guys get together and
You will need to be present, and I will get some information to you in the morning.
And Tammy, that
Okay,
will be a
I'll
public
work.
hearing.
Yes, it will.
Okay.
You'll have to send out the notices and get a poster up on the property, and I will get you those details in the morning.
Okay. Great.
And I would, Kent, I would refer you and Tammy to pages 29, 30, and 31 of the land use code for details on this.
All right. Okay, I'll let you guys get back to town business if you don't need me anymore.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kent.
Thank you.
This is the best thing on best Monday night TV I've seen in a while.
We try.
I pity you, Kent.
One of the guys was driving. All right.
Anybody see a need for me to hang around longer? Then I'm going too.
Did you have any comments
Okay.
on the building code, Rick?
What?
Are we still reviewing the building code? Did you have any further comments?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rick.
Thanks,
Okay.
As
Rick.
always.
So long, guys.
And,
Thank you.
Bye.
and have a good night. I'll see you guys around. Bye.
You can't.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next item is COVID-19 Clear Creek County Committee update. We just got another variance approved by the state. I believe it was for worship churches and small venues. There's supposed to be another public health order coming out effective around the 1st of July that should open things up a little more. Working on trying to get some funding together. Then keeping an eye on the COVID numbers for the state and the county, which seem to be fairly stable right now. That's about all I got on that. Sasha, it's your turn. Unmute yourself.
Oh, I was trying. As far as my COVID updates, the county has stopped all, is stopping all food pantries. So we were pretty much in line with the trajectory there. And then as far as our emergency response stuff, that's still in the works. I'm just trying to sort through all the information that was sent by the state and the county as to what they'd like put together, or so that what we put together matches the surrounding jurisdictions. And that's kind of all I have for that. Do you want me to go ahead and move on to the CARES update, or were there other comments there?
Yeah, go ahead with the CARES update.
So as far as that goes, we are having a meeting either tomorrow or Wednesday to try and finalize how we want to go ahead with the money. I have sent everything out. I did get some feedback from Sarah. I don't know if some people didn't receive my emails or if everybody was just okay with it and didn't have any comment, which is fine too. The main thing that I need from the board, and I don't believe that it has to be an official action, but I could be incorrect. Anybody that knows more than me, please comment. I need to be able to move forward with the group, with the county, without having to come back to the board because of the pace that we're moving with trying to get this money. So I'm not exactly sure how to go about that, or what you all feel comfortable with allowing me to negotiate on Silver Plume's behalf for how this money is distributed to us. So that's open to comment and direction, please.
Sarah's opinion here is one, that it's financial assistance, which I don't think we should say no to at all. Two, we've been given the opportunity to look at the number breakdown. It's a pretty thorough breakdown if you haven't had opportunity to look. My inclination would be to say that we as a board take the time to look at those numbers for Sasha, express any questions or concerns, questions that she can bring to the group that she's working with. But I would be inclined then to, and I don't know if this is legal, but to then say that Sasha on our behalf can make the next series of decisions for us. But that would be my inclination.
I think what Sasha's asking for is the authority to negotiate on behalf of the town and move forward without having to come back to the board.
Right.
I would entertain a motion to grant Sasha the authority to negotiate on part of the town.
Yeah, Sam, did you not hear what I just said? Sam?
Yeah, can you hear me?
You're very soft. Did you not hear what I said?
I didn't hear a motion.
I'm
never mind then.
Just to clarify, I'm not asking for a motion. I don't believe that legally that's the thing at this time. I'm just trying to let the board know that I want the board to understand that this is a time-sensitive process, and we will be meeting on Tuesday. So potentially we could put it, I'll put any input back to the board. But we do need to check before, because the document will need to be signed before our July board meeting. And so I just need to know if we need to have a special meeting for that before I can make a decision.
I personally think that we have discussed what you're going to be requesting and at least 2 of these meetings. And I agree that you're on track with requesting the money, our portion of the money appropriately. So I would trust your judgment in this.
Okay, I just want to make sure that everybody's getting my communications and that nobody has any grievances that I'm not bringing to the group.
No, I got it, just to confirm that I did receive it.
Okay. I just want to make sure in these meetings that I'm not speaking out of turn. So that's all. And I will keep everybody updated as things move forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sasha.
Yes.
Okay, the next item is the boardwalk in front of the town hall. Chuck, you want to take that? Chuck still on here?
Yeah, he's trying to get unmuted.
Oh, okay.
All right. Are we on now?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Bring the board up to date a little bit on how we arrived at this point. I met with Sam over the projects that were brought to you 2 weeks ago, a week ago on Sunday, so about 8 days ago. I drew up a materials list for the boardwalk, since that seemed to be a focus that we could easily agree upon. After doing that, I used the internet to shop at Home Depot and also at Lowe's, and came up with that Lowe's had the better price, total price on the materials that we needed. I went to them to get a formal listing and bidding, and did that, and then went back to Tammy and Sam because Ted Parker, one of the lead people on our group, wants to get on to his house project. Dave Fritz was up here for this week, and I'm leaving after the 4th for a couple of weeks in Kansas, so that wanting to try to get the project finished before the 4th, I contacted both Tammy and Sam and says, how can I go ahead? I made the offer that we put it on my credit card and present it to you later for payment. The total on the material that has been ordered from Lowe's, and half of it was delivered today, was $819.97. And that's not paying any taxes and paying a delivery fee for them to bring it to us. That brings you up to date on that billing, and I'll present that total invoice to Tammy tomorrow. The other projects that were suggested 2 weeks ago, I've begun a preliminary bidding on that and seeking out, but it's only preliminary. I need to have another look at what has been suggested by Home Depot, and also need to get back to Lowe's to see what their pricing on an equal amount of materials would be. Let me say that it would seem that the hose house is probably going to come out somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,700 for a new roof. However, I'll say this, that there was no evidence of water leakage in either the hose house or in the spring house at the brewery spring house. So it could be just that these buildings were painted. If you were to just do the painting, I believe that the figure would come in somewhere around probably between $200 and $300 to paint both buildings. And that could be another way to look at it. Last Saturday when we did work, we had a turnout of six people, and the work was completed quickly and adequately. And I was happy for it. I guess tomorrow we're waiting on getting the marking out of the gas lines and the electric lines, so that Sam says he can come back and do a trench that would facilitate drainage away from the town building and into the eastern part of the park area between the bandstand and the town building. And I think that's where I need to stop and let you ask questions. And if there's any concerns, we worked hard today and Sunday, and look forward to getting on with the project probably on Thursday as far as the volunteer labor.
Okay, I have a question. You said you were going to post the when your work plans, so we can show up and help.
Yes, that was posted in the post office.
In the post office, okay.
It was posted in the post office on Friday.
Okay, great. Thank you. And thank
we made
you very much.
Contacts with Mike at the KP and Joe, who works for, has worked for Jerry Haskins and has worked at the ski area. And both Mike showed up on Saturday and
Sunday.
On Sunday rather. Yeah, I'm sorry, on Sunday. And Joe says he'll be there this week sometime yet. He's trying to get his unemployment check figured out first. And I don't blame him.
Not at all. Okay, well, thank you. Just a quickie. I have a key, a lock and key for the brewery house, the pump house, the little brewery spring house, and just gonna redo the house, see if I can get a hold of a bolt cutter, cut that lock off, and I'll get you a key if you'll be around tomorrow.
Yep, we're around.
Yep.
Yes, we'll be around here at the house tomorrow for sure. And
Okay.
also down at the town hall to see Tammy with the invoice.
Hey,
All right, I'll
Marty.
get a hold of you once I
Hey,
get
Marty,
that
get a
lock
hold
off.
of me. I got a cordless grinder. I can come cut that lock off for you if you'd
We
like.
have a bolt cutter in the shop.
Okay.
You got.
Okay, so we've got a whole slew of options. Thank you all. I will figure it out. It'll get done tomorrow. Thank you.
Chuck,
Yes.
thank you for always doing these projects when you come. And if it would be possible, for you to keep track of the volunteer time.
Oh, sure.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Because
and
those are numbers that we can use in other conversations. People volunteering for the town. So that would be very helpful. And then if you could maybe submit it in with your, with anything else that you submit to the board, that would be great to keep track of that time.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody have any comments about the other two projects that he mentioned? The Brewery Spring or the house?
I would say I'd like to get through the boardwalk first, and then we'll move on to the next project after that one's finished.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you again, Chuck, so much. We really appreciate everything you're doing for the town.
You bet.
Thank you, Chuck.
You're welcome.
We'll go back to Monday Night TV.
Monday Night TV. Yes.
Okay.
Maybe a time in the hot tub.
Okay. Okay. Good
You
night.
two have a good night. Thank you.
Good night now. Thanks
All right,
again.
thank you.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda is staff updates. Tammy, I didn't see.
There's two more items, 7 and 8.
Oh, I guess I am kind of jumping the gun here. Sorry.
I know, and I understand why, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay, Marty.
Okay,
go ahead.
last meeting, Chris made a suggestion, since Sasha made the point that even if we scab something in there temporarily, that doesn't mitigate the danger on the sidewalk and heading up. So what he suggested we just close the sidewalk from, leaving access to the bridge, but as soon as that is reached, then we close the sidewalk from that point to the point where it's possible for, small dogs and children to not disappear in the cracks in the concrete.
How do you propose closing the sidewalk?
That's open for discussion. I mean, Rick and Judy justifiably don't like that yellow tape, and I understand that.
Would they like yellow sawhorses on both ends of the subject stretch of sidewalk? I mean, let's have some discussion on if we close it, what the closure would look like.
Yeah, that's something we would need to consider. I just think that one, I'd like to accommodate them. I mean, we can get volunteers to paint the yellow tape and do stuff like that. But I just I want to take care of their concerns and take care of what I perceive as a public safety issue. And the vast neurological gene pool we have on this board, I place that, how we do it, at your disposal, or if we do it at all. So, I mean, that it's just something that concerns me, and if the board doesn't want to do it, that's fine, you know.
I would like to ask our town maintenance director on what she envisions for a closure if we do it.
Could we move that black car in front of the gate onto the sidewalk? Then it will look normal. I don't know how we close the sidewalk. We don't really have any very appealing barricades. I've only lived here for 2 years. My question, I guess, is it looks like it was constructed that way with that opening in there. So why is it needing to be changed right now? Or I'm not really following.
Well, the Twin Towers constructed a certain way, and they came tumbling down.
Well,
so I mean, I think that's somewhat. There's that space, and again, if it's not a matter of concern, I'm perfectly willing to live with it. It just seems that there's a space there that presents a danger, whether it existed from the Pliocene or time immemorium, or.
So then, can we not, instead of wasting time trying to figure out how to close the sidewalk, can we not figure out what to put in that space? I think my suggestion during the last meeting was we find some larger boulders like that are there currently that could be maybe placed to block it from anybody haphazardly falling in, but it would also.
I think that's a great idea, as we discussed, a while back, and then, so I support that idea. I think it's a great idea if placed, but that's still, and then, the sidewalk has to be addressed, but it's a separate issue. I'm more concerned with that space, but that was something that I thought was a great idea, and still do. I think it's a great idea. Let me be temporarily positive and correct.
Can I ask a quick question? I remember that there used to be a granite sculpture there. Am I incorrect? Or not a sculpture, but like 2 big pieces of granite there?
There's 2 cut pieces of granite, just square cut, but yes, you're exactly right.
But did there used to be a bigger thing that was on top?
No, it was like 2 pieces of cut granite that were almost into a bench, almost is what it looked like, if I remember right.
It kind of took up that space.
Yeah, it did, definitely. I don't know what happened to the cut granite that was there, but you're right. There used to be some more suitable looking rock there for sure.
Okay, that's all.
And maybe that's the way we look at it, is we can find some cut granite to put into there and make it look a little bit better. I wouldn't be opposed against that.
Is there anything still up at the quarry?
Yeah, there's some pieces up there. I mean, we could contact Jack Pine Mine Company, which is now, she died. Fabian died a little ways ago, so her daughter.
I think I have her daughter's number when we were dealing with the mill next to the Mendota.
Right.
And they took care of that. I may or may not, but Chris Bradley knows it, so I'll get it from her.
Yeah, I mean, we could ask them if they would let us go up there and dig through. There is some granite sitting up there in that ditch. We can go up there and dig through it and get a couple pieces that would work for us. That would be awesome.
Okay, I'll get a hold of Christine and I'll make that. I'll reach out to her if that's the way we decide to go.
I would say I think we should look for some granite to put into there for now. That way we don't have to close the sidewalk. We could make it look good again, and it's safe.
See, I knew we would solve the problem.
And like Tay said, we're concerned about somebody, oh my goodness, stumbling into the creek on accident. I mean, if somebody's going to make an attempt to climb over something and get in, then, that's kind of on them.
Yes.
Yeah, it's genetic selection.
Well, why don't you reach out to where you can get that phone number and see if we can get granite that way, and we'll go from there.
Okay,
If
so
everybody else
that's
is
the way the
comfortable
board
with it.
wants to go on it, and I will, if that's the case, I will pursue it.
Sounds good to me.
I like it.
I like it.
Great. I will take care of it.
Okay.
Okay,
next
now,
one's yours too.
yeah, the remote camera, I spoke to Gary a little bit about it, and we're trying to figure out just something that we can monitor or at least check on in the event there's another, if we do restore that neat little street lamp we had there and anchor down the generous contribution from the Francone family, who've been here for a long, long time, of that bench, which we can anchor. But I think it would be good to have that, some type of surveillance on the park in the dumpster.
I have
How
a
do we
comment.
propose to anchor the bench?
Pardon me?
How do we propose to anchor the bench?
Well, we have that. We can put a large eye bolt through the timber on that. There are still timbers on that corner, right?
There's a stone that held the lamp post, and the bench is made of, it's kind of flimsy, the base. So I had asked Sam this a while back before the light got broken, but maybe now we could address it again. I think a piece needs to be welded onto the bench in order for it to actually be made secure, because it's not, there's not really it just doesn't have the material to like really.
Okay. Is that material strong enough given its age?
Yeah, no. So we'll have to reinforce it somehow. And then the lamppost has a huge base that was buried. So the idea was to reinforce the bench and then weld and then attach it to a bolt inside the inside the base of the lamppost.
Yeah.
Sounds
Thank
like a marvelous plan.
I was
Yeah.
looking at that lamppost today, and that concrete base that's underneath it, the whole thing came up when the lamppost was knocked over. And so there's nothing there holding anything anymore, it doesn't look like.
Right.
I would look at it today too. I was over at the park. Is there anything historic about that lamppost?
Sorry,
Not as far as I know. I don't even know where it came from. It just showed up, last year?
Yeah, there's nothing historic about it.
No,
Yeah.
I put it there because we needed some lighting in the park that was suggested by Saoirse, that we have some lighting elements in the park.
It's a nice restoration or recreation. It's pleasant and it's appropriate. But thank you. That's that's why I want a camera.
I have one comment, please, about the camera debate. We had, I think, 2 meetings ago, talked about talking to Jeff Kirkham, I believe, about a camera system or something for the small town hall.
Yes, we did talk to him. He's had shoulder surgery, and he is going to put us in contact with a fellow that could do the same thing. But at the park, we do not have a Wi-Fi signal for wireless cameras. That was the problem at the museum as well.
Yeah, and Peeps deemed it too expensive also.
Well, just if maybe they would have some suggestions for us as well.
Okay, I will ask him about that.
Not necessarily the same system, but
yeah,
he would recommend.
I have a question about that also, as to what we're going to do with all of the footage that the camera has on it, because most of it's going to be me. With all these pictures and so
You'll
on
get
and
used
so
to
forth.
it, Kathy.
You're going to have to move, the coven meetings then.
Because, well, I walk across the park, toward the other house, like a couple times.
With Lucy. Go to visit with Lucy.
And I'm just kind of wondering what we're going to do with all of this footage, all the pictures and so on and so forth that we're going to acquire off of this thing.
Well, I think if there would be a reference of time between kind of before and after. You know what I'm saying? If there's on Tuesday at 10 o'clock, the lamppost has been restored. It's up there. And on Wednesday morning, the top globe again is either shot out or vandalized. And I'm not technological enough to know just what our options are or how, But I think that I would like to see, kind of, vandalism is an issue, and we've been subjected to it, and I don't like it.
There's another whole aspect to this. Do we want to start digital camera surveillance of our park?
Yeah, that's a good point, Frank.
They do it in the streets of London, but I don't, my personal opinion is we aren't at the stage where we need surveillance cameras around town. It's expense, it's someone's time reviewing whether it's digital record. I hope it is, not physical film. I think it's just, it's not appropriate at this time for those reasons. Thank you.
It's a good point.
Besides, the things that go on in the park, I don't want to see.
Yeah,
What goes
what
on
happens in the park
stays in the
park.
Well, we have had several instances where, cars have been dumped in the park and so on and so forth. And in some cases, it would have been nice to see who left the car there. But yeah, I don't know the full answer to this because I don't know, who's going to look at all the footage. And then I guess if something unusual happens, we would just have the pictures. I mean, we had a game cam, a little game camera. The pictures just go on a little disc, and then you just look for the specific times that you're looking for, like Marty said, and then the rest of it just gets deleted. But yeah, somebody would have to take the time and be willing to go through the pictures.
Well, and that's a very good point. Do we want to get into Big Brother mentality? And I think Frank's point is well taken.
Yeah, so, my concern, and I thought it was part of our concern, is that the dumpsters have been utilized consistently by others who are not from town, things like construction debris. And I thought that was one of our concerns. And so maybe if it's as readily apparent as, I've just heard people casually saying, oh my God, they emptied the thing and the next day it was filled with construction debris. So we look at the tape that day. But
okay. That Sam and I went over to the transfer station, and Kathy saw the change out of dumpsters, and the dumpster itself will be allow easy access for people who need to use it for their household trash, since that's its purpose. And it has two small hatches in the top, which will accommodate trash, but will not accommodate construction debris.
Got
so
it.
Kathy has seen that, and we're working on switching that out.
Oh, good. All righty.
I would have to agree with Frank on the camera situation. I really don't want to get into a Big Brother type situation.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I kind of agree with that. I would like to figure out, maybe we can wrap it in razor wire or something, and
what I would like to see us do there in the corner where that lamppost is first of all get a new lamppost that's complete and pour a little concrete pad there that we could bolt the bench down to, and do it all to where it's all secure. Nobody's going to pick it up and walk off with it. If we need to weld something on the bottom of the bench to attach it to the concrete, we can do that. I don't know that there's enough of that lamppost left that's good to salvage it. I think our best bet would probably be to purchase another one like it, or maybe even a little better than that one was.
I've got a real
There is a
old.
street light right on that street too. I mean, right kind of between the park and Laura's house, there's a street light right there.
I'm
But it's
working on that.
possessed, remember?
It's what? Well, yeah, it's possessed, but you know,
Told me that.
it's a nice little ghost. It comes on when it wants to come on, and it goes off when it wants to go off. So, but I mean,
have
there's
two of those like that. It's a family of ghosts. Because two of them on my street would go on and off whimsically. So, yeah.
that's kind of why we live in Silver Plume is we have these things that are special.
We're all special in Silver.
But anyway, when the street light is on, it's lighting the park pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
And then they put up all the lights in the pavilion so that if there's an event going on some year when we're not COVIDed, you know, there are lights in there now.
Hey,
Could put a historically correct watchtower in one corner of the park.
hey, didn't you say that light was put in as a suggestion from Sursa?
Yeah, all of the lighting in the park was put in as a suggestion from Sursa.
Okay, that
And
was
the lighting in the pavilion was actually supposed to go on every night, much like a streetlight would, and it needs to be hardwired. Did that answer your question?
yeah, yeah. So we need to put a light in there that's hardwired that'll come on every night like a street light.
Yeah, it's all up there. It just needs to be wired into there's an outlet at the top of the what is it called? The pagoda, the gazebo? Pavilion. That's above the sink station. So that just needs to be opened up, and then the lighting needs to be wired into that.
One of our little volunteers, electrician.
Amy's kid is.
Because that might be something that we could ask them to do. Are we going to, with that, then would they be on all night? Those lights on all night?
No, they have a dusk till dawn setting that comes on at dusk, and then they stay on for 4 to 6 hours.
Because maybe we could put a sign up in the park too that says by order of Silver Plume, the park is only, you know, park closes at 10 or closes at 10:30 or something.
I got the by order of the town of Silver Plume.
I know. But we had some things, we have people that get a permission to do, you know, tents in the park and stay in the park. And maybe with that, we come up with times where, you know, the park is closed or quiet hours or something, you know, that parties end at 10 or something in the park.
Great idea.
I just know we've had extremely well-behaved people with tents and then some not so well-behaved parties in the park.
Yeah, and I mean that.
Sam, we're having trouble hearing you. If you can get closer to your microphone, maybe.
Could you put together an estimate for us to replace that light and wire it in and a pad to attach the bench to?
Okay.
Well, and Chris, you said you knew somebody that was an electrician?
I can do the wiring. That's not a problem.
Oh, okay.
All right, if you could put an estimate together for us for the next board meeting, then we can move forward with that.
Okay.
Now, a quick question on that: when we're going to anchor the bench, would it be possible to utilize heavy chain and a lock so that we can move it indoors in the winter, because it's old, it's fragile, and I'd like to provide as much shelter from the elements as possible.
I don't see why not.
Okay, great, thank you.
Do we do that with the light?
Maybe
Hot
we
wire
look-
the light. If anyone
maybe-
goes within 18 inches of it, they get, a mild shock.
Maybe we look at just
serious.
installing a spotlight kind of light, flashlight or floodlight up on top of the pavilion that shines down.
Yeah.
So give it a little less chance of getting damaged versus.
I don't think, and I've actually had, I don't think the people next door would appreciate that at all.
Right, because they're on the other side of it. They get the light, yeah. The Cowens folks.
Yeah, you think? They're the ones that don't really like the parties past 10:30.
Oh,
Something about babies.
totally understand.
And
All
I'm
right,
ready to give this one to somebody. Somebody want a baby? She's biting my feet.
Tammy, did you get a town clerk report sent out, or do you want to do it?
I can't hear him. I emailed.
Can't hear you.
How's your report out?
Sam, is there any way for you to get closer to your microphone? Nobody can hear you.
Not sure where the microphone's at.
What?
Can you hear me now? How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
That's better.
Okay. I found
Little
the
better.
microphone. Okay. So
That's
Tammy,
good.
you sent a email out?
I emailed the bills to you.
Uh-huh.
I did not have a chance to type my report up today.
Okay.
I am still working on everything I was working on last time. And I will let you know when we get the audit scheduled and get him up here. I have 16 or 20 things that just came in today. So I didn't get a lot done today. And so yeah, I'll get my town clerk report typed up and get it to you in the next few days.
Okay. And in Tammy's defense for not getting much done today, I was there bugging her most of the day.
Well, it was a good thing. We got the boardwalk up and they got a lot done.
Okay, for the public works report, I'm gonna get a hold of Niall and see if he'll do a little more work for us. I'd like him to go over the roads one more time, and we may end up having to order a little more road base for that. Tay's gonna mow the town park for us here in the next day or two.
Did we find out if Niall wants to work on the town truck?
I haven't yet. I haven't been able to get a hold of him. I've left him a couple messages. I'll try and run him down here next day or two. That's about. Go ahead.
I got Excel to come out about the trees too. I don't know if you want.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Thank you, Tay.
Nope.
Excel won't do anything with the big tree on the corner. Tay's arranged for. She got an estimate from a tree service to take it down, and they'll chip it up and put it in the playground for us. And that estimate was for. Remind me, Tay.
It's $13.50 as long as we take their chips and we utilize our dump truck to take the chips to the park. So they're cutting us about a $600, maybe more than that deal in order to retain, so they don't have to dispose of the tree, because they're actually the company that we've used that has been used a few times here in Silver Plume, and I made arrangements with them to take their chips because we don't get free chips from Clear Creek County anymore. So whenever they chop up a tree here in town, I ask them to chip it up and put it in the park. So that's what they're gonna do.
Excellent.
I would like to go ahead and say maybe we should move forward with that. I move we approve the tree cutting bid so we can get it out of the way and done with. And on top of that, if we run out of room at the park, or if the log is too big itself to chip up and we need to get rid of the tree itself, if we contact Brian down at Timberline, he will let us just dump into the transfer station, and he's available Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think, right now. We're letting people dump in the transfer station physically.
Wait, do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
We
Can
put the
you-
logs by the river before we get granite. No, I just-
But no, seriously, get a hold of Brian because nobody wants that cottonwood to burn it or anything. So we can just throw that logs down into the transfer station and get rid of them.
Okay. Okay, can you let them know?
Or get a hold of me and I can get a hold of Brian too.
Okay.
Yeah, he penciled us in tentatively for July 10th. So that's when he's gonna take down the tree. And then he's chipping another one. Hold on, let me open my calendar real quick. On the 29th. And I won't be here on the 29th. So they're gonna need the dump truck. And Marty, it's going to be right next door to you by the church. So I was just thinking I could park the dump truck over there. And if they needed some help, they could give you a holler.
Absolutely. Before, I mean, it's pretty, they're pretty standard. Just let's get together and I can do a quick run through on the dump truck.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, great. Thank you. And if we
Do
put
we
it,
need
gonna
to-
put it in the, we could probably put it at the end, at the very end of Hancock Street rather than.
Yeah. It can sit at the end full of chips until I dump it. That's fine.
Well, no, I can do that.
Oh,
I can take care of that once. I just need, a little run through on that particular vehicle.
Okay.
Do they come up and put signs up that close the road and stuff while they're taking that tree down?
Yeah, that corner we're gonna have to close off. I figured we'd close off on the other side of the bridge, and then the people that live on Tregay Street, I'm gonna put a barricade as back far as I can, and they said they'll stop work if anybody needs to go back and forth. They're hoping that it'll only take a day, but they said it might take 2 days to take the whole tree down. Also have to talk to, I believe his name is is it Joe McDonald, this guy, the family? Yeah, because they might need to anchor some safety in his property. So I have to talk to him.
Sure, he'll be okay with that. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Does anything need to be posted in the post office that the streets will be unavailable for those 2 days or anything? Do we need to do anything like that?
No, we just close them.
Emergency tree removal.
Okay. Next item is Clear Creek County letter support for collaborative healthcare center. Who's that? Tammy, is that you?
Well, I sent the email from Beth Luther for the healthcare. They have a group that's going to start talking about putting a clinic at the old lumber yard in Idaho Springs. So they were asking for your support. Did anyone receive the letter?
I did.
Yes.
I did.
Yep.
I got an email.
Yeah.
Yes, I sent it in the email.
Yes, I did.
She is asking for you to let your citizens know that they are considering it again, and Marty may have more information on it to get the word out. To get the word out so people know that they're considering it once again. I do not
The
know.
only thing I know is they're going to make it a lot easier to pass by not having to pass 5 separate items. That's the only discussion I have. I really don't I can talk to George about it, certainly, if,
I think more information will be coming from the county.
yeah.
So her letter was more of a heads up and a for your information item, so that you could kind of let your constituents know that they were considering the proposal again.
Do they want a letter of support, or do they want just to give us information? What do they want?
They are just giving you information at this point.
Okay.
Bring it back up for discussion again.
Part of the email from Beth also included a link, I believe, to give questions or comments with regard to what the different communities would like to see in a healthcare center. And if that's something that we could get out to the people of Silver Plume as to what would be helpful for them, then we could give our feedback as a community as well.
Okay. So really, there's no action we need to take right now on it.
That's correct.
Okay.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the last item is an update from TJ. I spoke with TJ a while back. He'd been trying to find us a grant for the roof replacement. Now that it's become more of an emergency, we really can't wait for a grant that probably wouldn't come until next spring. I asked him to change his focus to try and find money for the water meter. So he's looking at that, and I hope to hear something back from him fairly soon on that. I thought that was a good place to go. We got to replace the water meters, and I don't think the homeowners in town should have to cover the entire cost of that. So that's what I got him working on right now.
Excellent.
Awesome.
All right.
Should we pay the bills?
Yeah, let's pay the bills.
Okay.
Sam?
Yeah.
Can we touch real quick on the letter that we sent to the state for the copper testing implementations?
All right. Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you explain that?
GMS Engineers have put together a plan for what they call the Optimum Corrosion Control Treatment Report. And I will get a copy of the letter to all of you. Essentially, we need funding to meet all the guidelines that we're required to meet. And John Volk has been working with Jason Meyer and they have a proposal that we get some so we can get some funding from Department of Local Affairs for administrative items pertaining to that testing. So the mayor signed the letter and we sent it to the health department, but Clay Brown is out of the office till tomorrow. So maybe I'll have another update at the next meeting for you, and I will send the letter to you in the morning.
Okay. All right, let's move on to bill payment. Is everybody?
Approve the bills. I'll second it.
I'm sorry, who made a motion?
Tammy, Sasha made a motion, Chris seconded.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Anybody opposed? All right. Pay the bills. All right. Next item is administrative items and mayor and committee reports. Chris, do you have anything on building code?
I've kind of put it on the back burner until we could have a work session. We all kind of agreed to do that till after the roof was done, I thought.
Okay.
Need to have a work session with all you guys and some feedback from everybody, because I truly don't think we want to just adopt this code the way it stands. I think there's quite a few things we would like to change. I don't know what the rest of y'all feeling, but I think it's going to take a lot more time than just saying, hey, let's adopt the 2018 building code, both on the residential and the commercial side.
I agree. Hey, this is not on my agenda. Is that, do I just not have an updated agenda?
I think Sam just brought it up just because he was trying to ask about stuff.
I got you.
I brought it up under committee reports.
I don't see committee reports. I apologize, Sam. Yeah, no, Chris, I agree with you. I think it's something that requires more thought.
I would like to get through this roof project, and maybe we can go ahead and start a committee on this. And it's going to need a lot of feedback from everybody before we do this. But in the same sense, I would kind of like to get this done before we get this big project that's coming in down here on 5 Water Street. But I don't think we're going to miss that deadline at this point. But I don't know.
That's why I asked where we was at on it. Have you talked to Rick Caldwell?
He's still going through it and deciding what he thinks about it. He agrees that, there's a lot of stuff we need to make it our code. And we need to also, in that email that Tammy sent out to everybody, look what Georgetown did with it. And look what Idaho Springs did with it. They did not accept everything exactly the way that the 2018 code was made. Obviously we could take out the swimming pool ordinance. I don't think anybody's going to be building swimming pools at Silver Blue. I mean, I don't think. I could be wrong. There's just a lot to it, and I think that we need to really sit down and have really good discussions about it, because it's just not something to adopt on a whim by any means.
I agree that it's something that we shouldn't just adopt what's there. We need to make it our own. I just bring it up because I don't want to get it pushed to the back burner.
No, and I agree with that. And if we want to go ahead and put a moratorium in on building, we could. That's, once again, that's up to the board, and that would kind of help us have that time to go ahead and do that. But we're going to irritate a lot of people if we do that in the same sense. So, I mean, it's out there for everybody. What do y'all think? In the same sense, this isn't really on the agenda too, so I guess we better watch ourselves, and we can't really make a decision on a memorial. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say tonight.
Right.
Yeah. Do we not have number 2 under old business? Do we not have it on there for an update?
And number 2 was the letter of support for the healthcare center. Under old business.
No building code update, huh?
No.
There is no building code update posted to the agenda.
Okay. Well, Rick Caldwell said he was still reviewing it also.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he said when I talked to him. I'll try to swing by tomorrow or maybe the next day and have a chat with Rick Caldwell, and then maybe we can get it thrown on the agenda, the next agenda, to make a work session, discuss this. Maybe everybody else can try to read through it. I know we have so much free time in all our lives. It's a real good one, but we're going to all have to do it at some point.
And I brought it up under committee reports just because I don't want to see it get forgotten about or pushed on the back burner. So
I agree 100%.
Wanted to bring it up, and
so that's kind of where I'm at. Copies have been pushed out to everybody. Everybody should have a copy of the everybody should have a copy of it. And everyone should have a generic copy of the 2018 building code to refer to and study and go to sleep to.
Okay.
Sleep.
I thought you were already asleep, Marty.
Well, yeah, I haven't. I've been napping. No.
All right. And I got a couple other things that I'd like to bring up under mayor and committee reports, just because I don't know where else to put it. So, we got the new Chrome brick books distributed to everybody but Chris. He declined his. He says he has what he needs to be able to do business.
I will still run under the town email. not a problem. I just
Right.
don't need another laptop to carry around. That's all, guys.
Wow, we
And
can
that's
refuse
understandable.
them?
Not you, Marty.
Oh, damn it.
Quick comment real quick, Sam. It's Tay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So everybody should hang on to those. And the reason why they're all set up for you personally, if you end up heading out of town or whatever, and you still want to participate in a meeting and what have you, it gives you all the resources right there.
And I definitely can. I'm set up to be fully mobile everywhere I go. I got to run that truck company and all that. So I have my computer with me. I will use the town email address. I'll use the town's Google Drive and everything else. I'm just going to use my own equipment to do so.
Okay.
Sorry, I missed part of that. So if anybody needs help setting up, we haven't set up anybody's personal equipment with the town email. So if anybody needs help with that, we need to set a work session to put email on the phone, on your phone, or on your personal computer. So I don't know who needs that.
I can reach out if I need any help, but I have multiple accounts through email, so I have a pretty good understanding of how it works. So I should be able to merge it with the other accounts that I have, and I should be able to run everything off of my computer. It shouldn't be an issue.
Right. So you'll need the settings for our mail server then.
If you want to email that over to me, that would be greatly appreciated. Sam gave me a sheet this afternoon that has all my login and everything on it.
Yeah, it doesn't have the server settings, so I'll send that out. So
Is that something you should send to everyone?
I can. It's basically the IMAP settings for the server. If you guys check your email by phone, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to set up. So I'm happy to help anybody that needs help with that. So I'm just here because I passed all that stuff out and worked pretty hard on it. So I want to make sure everybody has what they need with it.
I will reach out with any questions.
Yeah, maybe we could do a truck and Chromebook session. And I promise that doesn't mean I want to run it over with a truck.
You have a split too, Martin.
I'd just like to say thank you for doing all this. This is amazing.
Yep.
It only took me like an hour and a half this afternoon to figure out how to get to where we are right now. but it looks like it's going to work. I think it's a great idea, and I have one quick question though. Is the way we can increase the volume of what we're hearing on this thing? Because it's just so faint that it's hard to hear, really hard to hear, and it's not my ears. It's just a low volume speaker. Is there any way to increase the volume?
Press the volume up button and it's all the way up?
Yeah, well, I did that with mine and it went all the way up. And then I lost all the pictures. I had printed names of everybody, but I didn't have any pictures. So I'm back on my computer because all I had was my picture on my little Chromebook. And so I don't know what happened there. It just went away. And yeah, it was softer and I had the volume turned all the way up.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the Zoom screen and I don't see any volume indicator at all.
It's on the keyboard. It's on the top row of the keyboard, Frank.
The actual keyboard.
Yeah.
Okay, as you can see, I'm leaning in to look at it.
We can definitely see.
Right side.
I'd also like to know, when are we going to switch to the town emails instead of our personal ones? So,
well, that's where I was headed with this discussion. I would like to see us go to the town email starting now. So everything from now forward should be done on the town email.
And with that, with the documents going to the links that Taya set up.
To the, what is it, Google Drive?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we should be able to do that. Maybe for a little bit, we'll send it out in the email and put it on Google Drive just to make sure everybody gets it.
Yes.
And I'd also like to ask that people be a little more diligent about checking your email and looking over the materials that's sent out for the board meetings. There's a lot of things tonight that had been sent out and it didn't seem like anybody had gone over them. I'd like to ask that everybody please be a little more diligent about being prepared for the meeting and the subjects that are out on the agenda. And I'd also like to ask Tammy to be a little more diligent about getting the agenda out sooner. I'd like to see the agenda come out the Wednesday before the meeting.
Sam, Sarah
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I fully support everything you said, and when I get material, I will promise to review it. I did not get a bunch of the material that was discussed this evening, and I don't know what that was all about, but I'm usually pretty religious about looking at stuff. But I totally agree with what you're encouraging us to do.
Well, I really think too that with the Chromebooks and having the Google Drive and having a dedicated email to this, these emails won't get mixed in with all of our personal emails, which frankly, I have a lot.
I think we all do. I support it.
Yeah, that'll help a lot.
The town email address has needed to happen for a long time. It's a very good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So from this point forward, let's use the town email. And I'd like to ask that when somebody sends an email out, whether it's Tammy or me, I know we've preached about not having a discussion over email, but when somebody sends out an email, just a quick reply saying got it or something like that, so we know if something's happened that it's not going through or whatever. And you know, if I send something out, and hopefully Tammy will do the same, and we don't get a reply from somebody, we can reach out and say, hey, did you get this? So we don't come up to the board meeting and find out that something that was sent out didn't make it to everybody. Does that make sense? Can we do that?
I think that's 100% doable.
It makes sense, Sam.
All right. Hopefully that'll save some of the confusion when we come up to something on the agenda and nobody's got what was sent out.
And like you asked me to set up, Sam, that using that board at townofsilverplume.com will ensure that everybody gets it. And then it's also properly tracked the way that we were told that we have to keep track of things.
Okay. Yeah, and that goes for everybody. If you need to send something out to everybody on the board, just send it to, what is it, board at Town of Silver Plume?
Yep.
And
Board
that'll
at
go to
Town of Silver Plume.
Yep, and that'll go to everybody.
And Tay, that information's on the website, right?
That is, I mean, individuals can find that information on the website. I didn't think it was something we needed to publish exclusively so we don't get a bunch of junk going everywhere. It's specifically for the board members to communicate with each other in a way that is fileable and
Got it.
trackable.
Got it. No, that makes sense. So did I miss an email in which you listed all the internal new board emails? Or
no, I didn't. You did not. I should actually create a list of everybody's individually as well. I didn't think about that.
Isn't that in that contacts list in your directory? There's a contacts document.
Oh, yes.
In the Google Drive.
Yeah, that's there, but that's going to come out of there actually. So, but I'll send out everybody's specific stuff.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Well, let's update it on Google Drive then also.
Yeah.
But is it not going to be on Google Drive anymore?
It will, but I'll just send it out to you so you have it and make sure you have a link to it.
Got it. No, good point, Kathy. I have not checked Google Drive recently.
Yeah, I think we may need to do a special little thing just going through the little Chromebook, and so that we're all on the same quote unquote page
Correct.
or laptop. Maybe we could just have a little mini session that goes through the whole thing.
No, that's something that I would like to plan, and I just kind of maybe after we use it after a meeting or two, we'll kind of have, if everybody could compile like some needs or suggestions, I can help with that.
Great idea.
Because I'm pretty helpless on that thing.
Okay, let's move on and approve some minutes.
Wait a minute, Sam. I had a question about moving that dumpster over to the park. Have you been in contact with the transfer station at all about
I haven't
that?
lately. I do need to get in contact with them and
Okay.
that and a few other things I need to figure out.
Okay. Well, if it's possible on Tuesday or Thursday, if you want to give me a list, I'd be more than happy to meet with them on Tuesdays or Thursday mornings, and that'll give you, a little breathing room, and then just let you know. So after we've done it, I've spent enough time with you clowns already. So let's just an offer. Let's move on to approve the damn minutes, and I can walk my dogs, eat, and go to sleep already.
Okay.
Nabbit.
And eat your dogs.
No, walk my dogs, eat, and then go to sleep. Oh, and just a bit of information, there are still ticks. While you guys are talking about computers, I picked a tick off one of my dogs. So just a heads up to dog owners, be careful. There's still ticks around, even at this time.
Definitely.
Okay, is everybody looked at the minutes? Or
Yes.
Yes.
Please.
any changes? I hear a motion to accept the May 26th.
So moved.
Sasha seconds.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. How about June 8th?
So moved.
Sasha seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. June 12th?
So moved.
Sasha seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. How about a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Sasha seconds.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm
Have
off
a
to
wonderful
bed.
evening. Be safe, everyone, and thank you
Good
for
night.
your time.
Good
All
night.
Good night.
Good night,
Night.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Good evening.
Thank you for hosting the meeting, Kay.
We want to say,
No problem.
I'd like to say thank to Don Heisey for joining us. For those who haven't met Don, he's got a house up on Mountain Street, and it's good to see you again, Don.
Hey, well, thank you, Frank. Good to see you too. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.